Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 Legends mod season here with the 10 race playoffs fresh off of a lengthy wild Darlington race, and now we head to Kansas fresh off of Dale Earnhardt Sr. going to victory lane after Denny Hamlin had the fastest car of anybody. However, was unfortunate luck on his side, ended up out of the race early on. Dale Sr. went on to pick up the victory after that now, as we are looking to beat him here today in this Hollywood Casino 400 at this Kansas Speedway. Now, I can tell you right now that Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s got a fast car again today. Look at the black, red, and yellow design we got here with the 2009-2010 DuPont Flames paint scheme for this Jeff Gordon car. One of my favorite schemes. Absolutely love it. This was actually the scheme that I got into like when I started watching NASCAR and became a Jeff Gordon fan. This was the first car when I became a fan of NASCAR. So it's pretty cool driving it here in NASCAR Heat 5 as a mod here in our qualifying attempt. Now at a turn 4, running the top on both ends of the circuit. You're going to see that basically all race long. And we come through to cross the line with a 31 flat here. So we're going to start P11 for this Hollywood Casino 400. A little bit of work to do, but I'm confident we have a top 10, maybe even top 5 car here today in this Kansas Speedway. There you see Dale Sr. on pole, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin up there in the top 3. And definitely pay attention to Hamlin looking for a little bit of vengeance after what happened in Darlington. You see Chase Elliott, however, starting dead last at the back of the field here as we were ready to go racing from this Hollywood Casino 400. Now, hope you guys enjoyed the first episode, and I am so excited to bring you the rest of the next 9 episodes of this, and I'm really hoping that by the time we finish this series, we have at least got a release date announced for the NASCAR Heat 5 2022 DLC. If that does not happen, we might do another 10 races on this and do like another playoff system or something. We'll wait and see what happens there. Now, as a green flag is out, we are underway here from Kansas Speedway. AJ Allmendinger, as well as Mark Martin, former teammate of Jeff Gordon, right there in front of us here. It's about 67 laps, I believe it is, here in this Hollywood Casino 400 from Kansas. So we got some time to work with here, as well as we are going to have the potential for some green flag pit stops. And really, every stage has the potential. Stage 1, it's really tight with the fuel and tires. Stage 2 as well. And stage 3, obviously, it's not going to be anywhere close. It's not a contest. We will have to pit if it stays green in that final stage. See me wasting no time going to the outside. Matt Kenseth is slower than molasses on the opening lap of this race here to the outside, as well as the 2 of Rusty Wallace as we head down into turn 1. And you can see Dale Earnhardt already out to a multi-car length lead as we continue to run this top. They're 3 wide in front of us. You got Larson briefly there 3 wide with, I believe that was Logano, and as well as Kurt Busch here. But you can see myself now passing Kyle Larson on the exit of turn 4, coming through to complete this second lap. And just continuing to run this outside, unfortunately, a little bit too up to the top there and got the outside wall, but nonetheless we are able to recover pretty well here on the exit of the corner. So we would just continue to run this outside, get to the outside of Kurt Busch here. We're running P9, 3 wide down the back straightaway, 4 wide we actually were briefly. We were able to get ahead of that 97. We were alongside Kyle Larson. We would get back past him, then we were fighting with Denny Hamlin, and now we're up to the battle for 5th place through turn 3, now using the inside to my advantage and kind of chopping this 11 off a little bit on the exit of the corner. But hey, it allows me to get clear for P5. So just 5 laps of racing, and there's a lot of action so far here in Kansas. As you can see now, Matt Kenseth actually repassing me after a really rough start. Kenseth looked really slow. Now look at him go. He's also passed Mark Martin, as I'm 3 wide in the middle on lap 7 with Logano as well as Kurt Busch. But you saw me kind of tap the brake right there down into turn 3. I did not want to be in the middle. I wanted to be right here on the outside, and Logano has that flame logo beside his name, which means he's supposed to be really fast, but he is certainly not showing it right now. The 2-time Cup Series champion from 2018 as well as 2022. The caution actually flies a few laps later for the first time here today. Nobody into the pit lane because this caution does mean we can make it to the end of stage 1 on field. So we all stay out, get ready to go green. Unfortunately, didn't find anything in the replay as to what had caused the caution, but nonetheless back underway here from Kansas Speedway, and now already less than 10 laps to go in stage 1, 8 laps to be exact here. You got the 97, you got the 6, Kurt Busch, Mark Martin, Greg Biffle, Matt Kenseth, the Roush Fenway duo, 3 Roush Fenway, 4 Roush Fenway cars actually have been here. I forgot Kurt Busch in the 97 was also a Roush Fenway car. So that makes it Roush Fenway versus Dale Earnhardt right now. You got Penske, you got Gibbs, you got myself with Hendrick here being the only Hendrick driver up in the mix. No sign of Kyle Larson up here anymore, or Jimmy Johnson, Terry Labonte, all those guys, Dale Jr., they're all behind us right now as we come through with a big run through the tri-oval here, going to the outside of that 97 of Kurt Busch, 2 wide, 7 laps to go in stage 1. Just trying to utilize this outside to the best of my abilities. These restarts are the biggest chance we have to gain a lot of spots on this outside, because the outside, it is certainly the meta here in Kansas, but on the restarts you can really gain a lot of trying position on that outside. So you're going to see myself trying to, of course, take advantage as much as possible of that. 3 wide at the line with a handful of laps to go at this point here in stage 1. Kenseth in the middle, he backs out of it. He's kind of falling down the order like he was early on in stage 1, and you now see the 97 of Kurt Busch getting clear for second place over Greg Biffle here, and I'm trying to fight to the outside of this number 16 3M Ford Mustang, and we would be able to get past Biffle as well. So up into third place, a lot of just back and forth, a lot of fluctuation, a lot of racing action here in stage 1, and it wasn't over yet. 2 laps to go to the outside of that Sharpie Ford Mustang into turn 1. Earnhardt runs the top as well, Kurt Busch to the bottom, but by the time it came through to start the final lap, still trying to fight past this 97 of Kurt Busch, but it doesn't look like it's going to quite happen right now. As you can see, Earnhardt this time goes to the bottom of the track, and he gives about a lane extra to Kurt Busch now, who might take advantage of that here as we head down this back straightaway, but I don't think it's going to quite work out in his favor as we head into 3 and 4 for the final time. Matt Kenseth, the next car behind, who's again moving his way forward. Kurt Busch on the bumper of Earnhardt, not going to be quite enough. Dale Earnhardt Sr. is going to come through to win the stage. We cross the line side by side with that 97, but it's P3 here in Kansas in stage 1. A very, very solid first and opening stage. A lot of racing action, actually, and I think this is just kind of maybe leaning into what's to come here now as everybody would head into the pit lane here. We're all going to take 4 tires. We're going to fill it up with fuel here. I was down to 22% on my right rear tire, so we had worn that tire out quite a bit, and I was pretty happy that that stage was ending at the time that it did. Now, though, it is time for that second stage here from Kansas Speedway, restarting now on the inside line, P3, not necessarily, you know, the line that I want to be restarting in, but it's the position that we find ourselves in. We're back underway here in stage 2 from Kansas, and we have a little bit less of a lap count to work with, which is obviously an advantage to us. We can maybe push a little bit harder here and not have to worry too much about the feel or the tires. Now, we're side by side with that 97 of Kurt Busch here as we exit turn 2 down the back straightaway. The outside momentum though propels him forward, and that Sharpie machine continuing to dive down into turn 3 up the inside of that DeWalt Ford Mustang of Matt Kenseth here. 17 laps all we have here, so 2 less laps in stage 2, running that 17 nearly up into the outside wall right there, really using up Kenseth. Jeff Gordon, Matt Kenseth, they did have a history back in the day, back from what, 2006 I think it was, back before even I knew what NASCAR was. But nonetheless, you can see Kenseth on the move. He gets past the 97 of Kurt Busch with 12 laps to go here in stage 1. I'm continuing to run the top again, but now Kenseth to the inside of that good wrench number 3 of Dale Earnhardt on the exit of turn 2. So Kenseth going to be the one that tries to dethrone Earnhardt, and he would sure enough get clear, take that lead, and try to run away from the number 3 car here as we are continuing to battle, and the battle was continuing for the lead. 4 drivers kind of ran away from everybody, and you can see Earnhardt on the inside, Kenseth on the top, Kurt Busch on the inside, myself on the top here. Now we came through to just 5 laps to go, and Dale Earnhardt was back to the inside of Kenseth, but the caution comes out. Earnhardt did have the lead at the time of the caution. This forces everybody to basically do the same thing that we're going to do at the end of stage 2 just a few laps earlier. We're going to take 4 tires, fill it up with fuel, and get ready to go green once again. Not a single position changed in the top 10. Richard Petty, by the way, currently the last driver inside the top 10. We're back underway, and it's going to be 2 laps to go in stage 2 here from Kansas Speedway now. So we're going to try and get a little bit aggressive here on the side draft. Now, you got to be really careful when you're closing up to the car in front of you on a restart. So if I gave Kenseth a bump right there, that would have slowed me down a ton. You can see I kind of backed off from his bumper. Unfortunately, I didn't time it very well, and I cost myself a bunch of time anyways. But if you run into the back of the car in front of you on the restart, for some reason, it really likes to pull you back. So I was trying to avoid doing that, but obviously you can see here, I didn't do myself any favors, because now here we are trying to fight for a top 5 spot instead of for maybe a top 3 alongside inside Greg Biffle. White flag in the air in stage 2. It is Dale Earnhardt once again out in front, but Kurt Busch is not far behind. Out into turn 1. Earnhardt to the inside, but he leaves a car length or a car's width available to Kurt Busch, who is going to attack on that. They're going to be side by side down the spank straightaway for the final time. Kenseth there, we're getting a slipstream from him as we head down into turn 3. Earnhardt on the outside right there. It's not going to win the stage, I don't think, here as we come through 3 out of 4 for the final time. Getting that momentum on the outside, it's Kurt Busch who's going to come through to win stage 2. We're going to drag race with the 16 to the line, but it's going to be us getting P5. Earnhardt second, Keselowski up there in third, and Matt Kenseth fourth. Biffle, Mark Martin up inside the top 10 as well, and rounding out the top 10 you got Harvick, you got Ricky Rudd, as well as AJ Allmendinger actually with a very, very solid effort here. Unfortunately, Richard Petty there in P12 after it was looking like he might get some stage points. So we all stay out because we had just made our stage 3 pit stops. See Kyle Larson, actually, I think he was the reason for the first caution. He is 31 laps down as once again we are on the inside. Not where we want to be as the green flag is back out, and it's going to be 25 laps to go here from Kansas Speedway. You see how long the video is. We still got 10 minutes to cover stage 3. That tells you one thing. There's some action here to be seen, and it starts now. 3 wide with Brad Keselowski now up the inside of Dale Earnhardt. Caught them sleeping a little bit on this restart. It is go time. We've seen how the racing has been throughout this race. Stage 1, a ton of action, a lot of just pure racing. That was just awesome. Multi-groove racing. Stage 2, a little bit calmer here, but it is certainly heightened up this time because we're 3 wide for the lead on the exit of turn 4. Earnhardt in the middle, Gordon and myself on the inside. Kurt Busch on the top here, who's going to lead the lap across the line. We come through down towards turn 1. Here comes Keselowski up my inside as we head into the corner, so that forces me anyways to the top, which is okay. That's where I wanted to be, but now we're 3 wide again. Earnhardt and now Mark Martin on the inside of us. Matt Kenseth, don't rule him out. We've seen the speed of that number 17, probably the fastest car here, aside from that 3 of Dale Earnhardt. I think those two actually might have pretty equal cars here in Kansas now. As you can see, Kurt Busch though out to about a car length and a half lead over that 2 of Keselowski. You see the fire symbol beside his name, just like Logano. Penske just has some speed here today, but Logano just hasn't quite shown it. But Keselowski, sure enough, goes to the lead of this race here now to the inside of the 97. Briefly touched the back of that Kurt Busch car, but I just bolted down there trying to take the momentum because I saw the door shutting because he did not want to let me get to the outside of him. And unfortunately, I pay the price right here for going to the inside. It just does not work for myself. And you see right there that Matt Kenseth is able to not only get past me, but get past Kurt Busch as well. A 2-for-1 special for that DeWalt machine. We continued side drafting this 97 all the way down into the corner, but again, just really, really hard to make this inside work. So I could have probably completed this pass earlier on the outside, but the caution's gonna fly as Bobby Labonte in the number 18's into the outside, while with a blown right front tire, the caution, sure enough, is out here as we run P4. And you can see the pit strategy. Looks like nobody is going to come into the pit lane, so I was going to just kind of bank on them being right here, and I decided to stay out as well. Now going to be on the preferred outside line, row number 2. Brad Keselowski, Matt Kenseth, Kurt Busch, myself, Dale Earnhardt Sr., your top 5. We're ready to go back racing here. The green flag is out. It's going to leave us with 18 laps to go. It's a sprint to the finish. However, there is going to be what looks like right now a green flag pit stop tossed into the mix, and it's going to probably be within the final 5, 6, 7 laps of this race. Once again, starting behind Matt Kenseth has not benefited me. We lose ground just like we did late in stage 2, if you remember, and now we're drag racing again with this number 6 Valvoline Ford Mustang, piloted by Mark Martin. Unfortunate that he could never win a championship in the NASCAR Cup Series, but still, championships aside, had so much success as a NASCAR Cup Series driver across decades in the sport now, as though we are able to get clear of that 6 in the 28 of Ricky Rudd now to his inside. We're right there on the back of this good wrench number 3 of Dale Earnhardt. We go a little bit higher than he does through the center of 1 and 2, and look at this 28 of Rudd, who's got a huge run on the exit of turn 2, but myself and Earnhardt stay quick on this top line, but it wasn't enough because Rudd is moving his way forward. Now 3 wide with Earnhardt. I'm trying to kind of compromise that 3 car a little bit. I know how fast he is, so I'm trying to kind of pull him back here, and I don't really want to have to fight that 3 car for a race victory here today. We almost had to do that in Darlington before everything went wrong, and I would rather not have to fight the 3 car again here today because, well, in the one little bit of a fight we had, it lasted for like a corner and he was gone. So we're trying to avoid that here today, but nonetheless, look at this battle we are having. 6 cars under a blanket in the final 15 laps. I'm gonna say this race from start to finish has possibly been the best NASCAR Heat 5 race I have ever had with the AI and the multi-grooves. It's been fantastic. If not the best, it's at least the top 3 at the bare minimum. This has been fantastic, and it keeps getting better. Look at these drivers here. You got legends, of course, of Kurt Busch, Keselowski, Rudd, Kenseth, Earnhardt, myself, and here I am as Jeff Gordon going to the outside 3 wide, and we were briefly 4 wide because Earnhardt as well, realizing what was happening, what was developing there. He needed to hit that attack button, and he did. Now that kind of takes Kenseth and Rudd out of the mix here, and now we're going to battle it out with the 2 discount tire Ford, and now I'm going to get to his right rear quarter panel on the exit of turn 2, and you see him check up there because the 3 of Earnhardt kind of chopped his nose, and here I am just barely squeezing to the outside of that number 3, but Earnhardt was quickly on the attack of Kurt Busch. This is what I was concerned about. I did not want to see the 3 of Dale Earnhardt get clear for the lead and say see you later here, but unfortunately he would get clear. However, there was a fortunate part to it. He wouldn't run away, actually. You can see us closing in on him now, and Keselowski going into the inside. We're now got the 70 or 97 in the mix here with us as we're going to continue here on this outside with 10 laps to go in this race. Green flag pit stops will be looking like it's going to happen at this point now as we continue to drag race. It feels like you're down every straightaway, pushing the 3 here. Gordon, Earnhardt, of course, good friends in real life, off the track, on the track. They had that rivalry back in the day, but they were tremendous friends off track and actually were business partners at times. But right now, 3 wide with Earnhardt and Keselowski into turn 1. What a race we continue to have, and now it's all going to come down to the green flag pit stop. You can see I'm not letting Keselowski cover me off right there, just trying to slip into the smallest gap to try and make sure I can continue to be alongside fighting with these guys. But I knew that the pit stops were just moments from kicking off here in Kansas, and here you see the tires are light is on, the fuel light is on, so now it's just a matter of moments. A lap or 2, you can see the track map. A bunch of the AI have elected to come into the pit lane on this 61st lap. So here we are now into turn 3. I could tell they were pitting, so I'm trying to come in with them. I do not want to stay out an extra lap compared to this competition, so everybody pulls in, and I'm actually going to be the first one into the pit lane, so I get into the pit lane so much better and even down to pace speed without any issues. So we're going to do right side tires only and 1 can of fuel, and we'll see what the outcome is. It's an 8.2 second pit stop, but Dale Earnhardt is going to beat us out of the pit lane. However, we are ahead of the 17, the 97. It looks like Keselowski actually, I think, might have opted for 4 tires, but look at the gap between myself and the 3. We need to hustle this car as we rejoin the track, and we're going to do exactly that. We definitely get a little bit more aggressive than Earnhardt did, and actually we're going to close in, maybe even get alongside and pass him here into turn 3. However, not going to quite happen like that. We're going to get to him, but I just couldn't quite get alongside him. But now it's Gordon versus Earnhardt. Game on. 5 laps to go, and you see a slow car up ahead. It's actually Earnhardt's employee driver of Steve Park in the number 1 who might interfere with the finish of this race here. Now as we exit turn 2 down the back straightaway, and no, Park's going to get in the way of his own boss, and he's going to let me go and pass Earnhardt. Thank you very much, Steve Park. Is that going to be the deciding factor? I'll jump back up to the top as quick as I can because I'd lose too much time on the bottom, but a mega drive up the inside of the 3, from the 3 of Earnhardt. We're side by side, door to door, wheel to wheel across the line. 3 laps to go. Now trying to put that 3 in a compromise spot into the corner, trying to lessen the chance of him getting the car to aim for the apex smoke up ahead from the 14. That is if Clint Boyer Earnhardt's on the brake pedal here. The 14's right where I want to be, so I need to, of course, go and maneuver around him as well. We get around him, no problem, but it doesn't look like a caution is going to come out, and now again, the momentum had stalled. The tire lights on. Earnhardt got to the inside immediately. I knew he was going to get clear if I didn't just drop right down on his door and pull him back as hard as I could, even running into the side of the 3 there as we came through to the final 2 laps. Matt Kenseth has joined the equation here as we exit turn 2. Earnhardt clear down the back straightaway. Now just a lap and a half to go, and we are going to fight Dale Earnhardt for a win. Earnhardt won the first race of the playoffs, Darlington. He's trying to go 2 for 2 here now and win at Kansas, but here we are, exit of turn 4, white flag in the air. We get to the right rear quarter panel of Earnhardt. We got to side draft him as much as we can. Kenseth is still within striking distance if we come together, but now I got to line up the outside here into turn 1, but I was definitely considering an inside send because I don't think we're going to get to the outside here. No, we are not. Earnhardt clear, but we're going to have a run. We have a big run down the SPAC straightaway. Multiple car lengths here closing, and we jump to the inside here of Earnhardt before he can cover it off. We're going to be side by side through 3 and 4. We need to push him up the track, but as respectfully as possible. We are so close to the door of that 3, leaning on his door, coming to the line. It's not going to be enough. Earnhardt wins by 3/4 of a car length. Matt Kenseth was hauling the mail, nearly inserted himself into the conversation. What a race it was in Kansas. I'm going to say it's got to be the best race we've had in NASCAR Heat 5, if not at the bare minimum a top 3. Absolutely insane. And we finished P2, which is great. We'll definitely advance into the next round with these 2 finishes that we've had, but Earnhardt is unbeatable so far in this season. 2 wins, and he, of course, is very well locked into the next race. But look at this. We have a 3-way tie for the final transfer spot. It is going to get so interesting in the next episode. And speaking of the next episode, I will see you guys then, and I'm very excited to see who is going to advance versus who gets eliminated. If you enjoyed, make sure to let me know and you know what to do. I will see you all next time. Have a great day, everybody.